I say campus. I said it because most of us that have graduated from here, we kind of bleed black and gold. Because when I first started back in 1984, I came here with a foot locker in one arm, okay, and a suitcase in the other, straight from the country, not out of Compton, not out of, wherever it says straight out of. So we thank you for allowing me to be here, Dr. Varnamedian, and Varnamedian, forgive me if I mess your name, for being here. But I came here with on a football scholarship. I was late 2 days, and the first thing they asked me, or they told me, they said, "Robert, you take the ACT?" And I said, "No, I haven't taken that. I just showed up." So my parents they were farmers. And so the first thing you do when you graduate from high school, you go to work. You don't really go to college. So the ACT, I didn't think about the ACT, and so they said, "Yeah, take the ACT before you can enroll you in school." So okay, I'll do that. And so I was in the ACT and taking it, and I was sleeping, and so I just started filling out, just going dot to dot. And I'm not going to tell you the score, but I can just tell you, you can count it on one hand, put it that way. I tell that as a testimony because it was an open campus, and so I didn't know that, but I still came here to play football. My college was paid for, it is owed $200, but because Missouri Western was an open campus, it allowed me, old country boy, and they call it a dumb jock, but allowed me to go to college. I've since been on. I started in '84. I graduated in '95. I dropped out, went back, but I went on to get my master's degree, and hopefully next year or the year after, I hope to start with my doctorate degree. But it was where I started right here at Missouri Western that allowed me to get the education that I have now. And that's why I said for those of us who have started here, played football here, had an education here, that we all bleed black and gold. Missouri Western is very near and dear to our hearts. So the topic that I've chosen, and since you're saying that it is that we are trying to stay motivated through the fight, is to start strong, to stay strong, and to finish strong. The thing is, you must understand, talent is only the beginning of what you have. I said that your talent, your ability is not everything. It is only a launching pad for where you are trying to go in life. But three things I hope that I can get done, and they said I have an hour. So right. Throw that out there? No. And to my students in Carton Park, wherever I teach, they know I'm a part-time comedian. And I mean, it's one way to keep them on their toes because I teach in a very blighted area of town. But these kids are survivors. And I don't know where your heart bleeds at for trying to have social justice and change. But I'm a pastor, so my heart has a bleed for families and keeping the family unit together. That's just my mantra, what I have to do. But my wife and I, my wife's idea to start a learning center and go after these children that are in an inner city, quote, and are downtrodden and behind the 8 ball in life, and try to somehow push them up to the next level. So my heart bleeds for this generation, our young generation. And I know that most of us, when people come out of the penal institution, that we have to try to get them jobs, but it's just everyone has to have a place where they have to flow in life. And for me, if I can keep a young man or a young woman from going into the system and getting into the system, if I can stop them and they can jump over that through education or somehow keep them out of the institution, I've done my job. And that's where social change, I can make a difference in somebody's life. So 3 things I want to focus on today. That is, you must have belief, you must be focused, and you must have perseverance if you are really going to stay strong through the change. One person said that no matter the size of the bottle, the cream always rises to the top. Now, my parents were born in the 1920s. My father born in 1920, my mother born in 1925, and my mother grew up on the farm, with the cows and the pigs, and my grandfather was a butcher, and he had a smokehouse, and so they couldn't go to the market down the street to get butter. They had to churn their own butter. And what's amazing is out of one thing, milk, you get 3 commodities. Because they would just let the milk sit for a little while, it would curdle, as she told me the formula. Then you would churn it, and it would turn to butter. The cream would rise to the top, and so you get cream, you get butter, and out of the butter, you get buttermilk. Out of buttermilk, you get buttermilk biscuits, buttermilk cornbread. You put some cornbread in there, have buttermilk and cornbread mixed together. Out of one thing, milk, you get 3 things. Now, you got to forgive me because I'm a pastor by heart. And if I say amen, I'm trying to hold it down. But Dr. King was a drum major for justice, and he was a pastor. He was a pastor. He bled. His education, I'm not going to go into his education and his background, but he could have been a doctor. It could have been anything on a college campus. He could have done that. But they asked him to help with the bust that was happening in Montgomery in 1955. They were boycotting. And so this young African-American man stood up when people were sitting down. And so no matter the size of the bottle, the cream always rises to the top. Peter Drucker states, he says, there seems to be little correlation between a man's effectiveness and his intelligence, his imagination, or his knowledge. Intelligence, imagination, and knowledge are essential resources, but only effectiveness converts them into results. By themselves, they only set limits on what can be attained. In other words, your talent is only the spring. It is not the fountain. The spring is where the foundation is, but the fountain must be brought forth by some kind of source. And so you have to make up in your mind, even though I'm weak, even though I am black, even though I am short, that I can make a difference in somebody else's life. Can somebody say amen?
Amen.
sorry, forgive me. The thing that I wrote down said that great men that are doing great things does not always mean that they had a great ability. Listen to these stats. More than 50% of all CEOs of Fortune 500 companies have had a C or a C- average in college. Okay? 65% of all U.S. senators come from the bottom half of their school class. I know it may be, that's a long time to say that, but it is a stat, it's out there.
That's a problem, no.
75% of all U.S. presidents were in the lower half club in school. 75%. Wow. More than 50% of all millionaire entrepreneurs never finished college. So what am I saying? Then they all have what was called the long jump principle. I call it the long jump principle. In other words, just one person that can jump 29 feet versus 29 people that can jump 1 foot is all you need. One person that can do something specialty. So they're trying to crowd everybody in here that everyone can do it. Just get in there and just fit in and just be a clone what everybody else does. You cannot not do that when you are trying to make change in the life of somebody else. You must not be the thermometer on the wall. You must be the thermostat. You set the pace. I set the temperature. I control the area. I come in, and I don't care how bad how blighting it looks. I can make a difference in somebody's life and in the life of this neighborhood, if that's what your mantra is. But you must start strong. The foundation is so important that you started strong. Just being here in college, if you're a young African American or Anglo-American person, just being here in college, you're already one step above the rest. I don't know the percentages of those that come to college, or the young African American men, or anyone that goes off to college, but the percentages are not high at all. But you are giving yourself a better leap than somebody else who dropped out, than somebody else decided not to go to school, than somebody else decided to just go off and maybe whatever they're going to do in life, but decided not to go to college or to trade school, because not everyone's college material. But they decided to make a difference and get a better jump start in life. You're already one step above the rest. Now that's starting strong, but starting is not enough. Somebody say starting is not enough.
Starting is not enough.
First thing you must have, I think you must have a belief system. You must have a belief system, a set of principles to live by that are bigger than you, that are deeper than you, and that will at all costs outlast you. It must be a belief that permeates your soul, that permeates your being, that is your biblical, that is your basic foundation. I said biblical because Dr. King was a pastor, and everything he did was based on biblical principles. I'm going to quote later on some of his quotes that he had in life, and they all had a biblical theme, no matter what he did, because he was a pastor at heart. He was a pastor at heart. He was a believer at heart. And so therefore, that was his belief. And so you must have a belief system that you must flow from. So what does belief does? Belief determines your expectations. Expectations determine your actions. And actions determines your outcome. Think about Rosa Parks, 1955. She said she sat down. When she got on the bus, she said, I was just tired. So she didn't want to give up her seat to somebody else that was white. She didn't want to give up her seat. She sat down. Said, I was tired. And that action right there started the boycott Montgomery, Alabama in 1955. That one action from one single person. See, you may not be everyone. You are just one. You can't do everything, but you can do the one thing you can do to make a difference in life. I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, you can do at Rosa Parks. I'm just tired. I'm tired. Got off work, and sure she was a maid. I don't know what her background was, but I'm sure she probably was a maid somewhere. That's what African American women did back then. And she just sat down. But when she sat down, she didn't know she was standing up. Matter of fact, Martin Luther King said in one of his speeches, when you sit in at lunch counters, you may be sitting down, but you're not sitting down. You are rising up to the challenge. You are rising up to the cause. Their cause was social justice. It had to do with African Americans and the voting rights and being equal. I don't know what yours is today, but we are living in some difficult times. And we need some Rosa Parks. We need some Martin Luther Kings, some Medgar Evers. We need some people that can do and make change in life today. So you must start strong. And if you do that, you're going to have some courage. Somebody say courage.
Courage.
Matter of fact, nudge somebody next to you and say courage.
Courage.
You know, he was in church this year. Let's get reduced to it. I said courage is not one man's act. It is one man's act in the face of danger, against all odds, when the back is against the wall, prevails to the highest degree. You must start strong. Well, starting is one thing. The second thing you must do, you must stay strong. To stay strong, you have to be focused. Somebody say focus.
Focused.
Focus is important because focus plus your talent and ability gives you direction. You think about it when you see kids playing outside in the yard and they're jumping and from one thing to the other, and they're jumping from one toy to the other, or one play equipment to the other. And a lot of times in life, when we don't have direction, we do that. We jump from one job to the other, one profession to the other, all different things because we don't have direction. If you're going to do something in life that is greater than you, that is deeper than you, that is higher than you, you must get in there, be focused, and say, I have got to get it done. I lost 32 pounds this summer. I've been trying to lose those pounds for 3 years. I was 262 pounds. And, I kept trying to get down to 230, and I start and I finish. I start and I start and I stop. I start and I stop. And I made my mind up this summer that by the time school starts, I'm going to lose those 30 pounds. Well, I got down to July, and I was still 262. And I said, whoa, I got to get this done because school starts on the 15th. And so I set my mind to do it. I got me a meal plan, and in 42 days, I lost 32 pounds.
Wow.
42. But I put my mind to do it. I set my goal in mind, and I got it done. Somebody say, get her done.
Get her done.
There you go. So how do I stay focused? How do I stay focused? Here's what I say. And especially for this generation in the face of Facebook, Snapchat, television, and sports, you're going to have to buckle in and get focused and don't let anyone sidetrack you from what you want to do. I speak to especially African-American men, and not only African-American men, because at the school that I'm at, it is not predominantly black, it is predominantly Anglo-American. And so therefore, but I say not only just the African-American men, but because of meth that has crept in and has taken over our state, that we have to really have a fight for young men. And I say to you, young men, African American or whatever creed or color you are, you have to get more focused than ever, because there are going to be more than enough distractions for you. If you're African American and a man, while you're in school, there's already going to be several men. Hey, sell this for me, sell that. You can go this, go this, take this. I had a nephew that did that. You go here, man, go over. It's going to just go. I'll give you $50. Just go over here and deliver this package. He didn't come out of that. He sat in his car and he lost his life at age 29. Powerful man, young man, strong man, but he didn't have enough focus to know to say no. I speak to you because that's my heart, that if you don't stay focused, someone is going to rob you of your dream. Now, you talk about dreams. There's some quotes that Martin Luther King said. He said regarding death, he said, I like someday to mention, he said, I like somebody to mention that day that Martin Luther King Jr. tried to give his life serving others. I want you to say that I tried to love and serve humanity. All of the other shallow things will not matter. I won't have any money to leave behind. I won't have the fine, luxurious things in life to leave behind. But I just want to leave a committed life behind. He said regarding hate, he said, darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. Well, I can tell you that because we're living in a time now where people are rising up, and you'll be in the picket line too, trying to knock down something with all your power of your might. You can do the same thing with love, same thing with your mind, same thing with your education. I'm telling you that it doesn't have to take thieves to do it. You can take it and do it with your mind.
Amen.
He said regarding courage, the ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. Somebody say, stay focused.
Stay focused.
Regarding the power behind the fight, because you want to stay in the fight. He said, when our days become dreary with low hovering clouds of despair, and when our nights become darker than 1,000 midnights, let us remember that there is a creative force in the universe working to pull down the gigantic mountains of evil, a power that is able to make a way out of no way and transform dark yesterdays into bright tomorrow. He goes on to say, use me, God. Show me how to take who I am, who I want to be, and what I can do, and use it for the purpose greater than I am. College. So you must stay strong. Strong is a very powerful word in my close. You must stay strong. But more than that, you must finish strong. Somebody say finish.
Finish.
One particular, years ago, there were about 500 men. Some of them were leaders, some of them were CEOs, leaders of the Fortune 500, leadership gurus, about 500 of the world's most dominant thinkers got together and said, we've got to figure out this thing called life so we can raise people up out of poverty. There has to be a formula that we can somehow give people so that they can raise up too. They sat there for days and for hours, and they said they could not come up with anything to say, life just happens, you must live it. Because they found that the man that was a Fortune 500 millionaire, billionaire, got cancer and died. That the man that was drunk in poverty, came out of nowhere, no shoes, no nothing, rose up to become a millionaire. All he did was took his talent and he persevered and he finished strong. You cannot just start strong or stay strong. You must finish strong, and that takes perseverance. Perseverance is not an issue of talent, not an issue of time, it is about finishing the race. The one and only thing that counts is, do you have staying power? So I will say in my closing that you should dare to dream. Tell somebody, say, dare to dream.
Dare to dream.
Tell somebody else, say, dare to dream.
Dare to dream.
He said, Martin Luther King, I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out its true meaning of creed. And we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that my four little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. He goes on to say, yes, I have a dream this afternoon that one day in this land, the words of Amos will become real, and justice will roll down like waters, and righteousness like a mighty stream. I have a dream that every valley will be exalted, every valley be exalted, and every valley shall be exalted, and every hill will be made low. The crooked places be made straight, and the rough places made plain, and the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh will see it together. He said, and with this faith, I'll go out and carve a tunnel of hope through the mountain of despair. He said, with this faith, I will go out with you and transform dark yesterdays into bright tomorrows. With this faith, he said, we will be able to achieve this new day when all God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing with the Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last. Thank you very much.
Amen.